Hi and welcome to my Dungeon Explorer game. In this video I'll show you how the game works, talking about all the programming ideas I used and how I tested it, as well as handling errors. The game uses some important object-oriented programming ideas. For example, I made an abstract class called Creature that both player and monster both use. This means they share the same code, but they also have their own attack styles. Each room has a description, items, and then they connect to the other rooms. The player has an inventory, which is basically just the list that they can pick up and use within the game. Player and monster both have their own ways to attack, which shows polymorphism. Also, the classes keep the data safe by hiding the details with encapsulation. For example, making some of the properties private. I made the game handle error as well, so the game doesn't crash. So for example, if the player tries to go in a direction that doesn't exist, the game will not crash and tell the player they can't go that way. Also, for example, if you try and attack and there's no monster in the room, it also doesn't crash the game and just sends a message. Likewise, using an item that's not available in the player's inventory also just shows a message instead of an error. These checks help the player know what's wrong without breaking the game. I also added some basic tests that run before the game starts. So as you can see, there's tests to check if the player can pick up and use a potion, as well as checking if attacking works correctly with monsters. It also prints messages to the console to show how everything works. Running these tests to begin with is useful because it helps catch mistakes early. In the future, I'd like to add more detailed tests. Here I'm going to show a brief demonstration of the gameplay. So as you can see, the player starts in a dark cave, as well as the game notifying you there's a sword that's in the room, as well as showing you the commands that you can use to interact with the game. For example, here, if I type pick up, it will pick up the sword and move it into my inventory. Also here, if I then type go east, it will take the player to the next room. In the next room, you can see the room has a different description and a new item to pick up. Then for example, if I then type go east again, the game will list that you can't go that way. So I instead go north, which encounters a monster. While encountering the monster, you can type attack, which will attack the monster, and the monster will also attack the player back until it gets defeated. And this demonstrates polymorphism, as well as like inventory management, room navigation, and all error handling through the gameplay. In reflection, the key learning I took from this is it deepened my understanding of object-oriented design, especially the key principles of inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation, as well as implementing error handling helps me understand its importance. One of my biggest challenges as being more new to programming was being able to design the game flow and managing the transitions between the different classes. Thank you for watching this demonstration of my Dungeon Explorer game.